Hi everyone. Thank you for joining us for Young Erie Professionals 2021 Virtual Town Hall Meeting. I'm Amanda Duncan, the President and Chairwoman of Young Erie Professionals, and I'm joined today by Ethan Sykes and Ron Vineyard. Ron, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Ron Vineyard, and I'm the Vice President for Internal Engagement.
I'm Ethan Sykes. I'm the Vice President for External Engagement.
What we want to do today, before we get started talking about all the plans we have, is really help you understand the why behind what we do. About 6 months ago, in the midst of COVID, then President Angela Price really took some time to think about what our mission and values were and how that related to the outputs of our program and the activities that we do in our community and how they serve not only our members but the community at large. And when it really came down to it, we realized that our mission is about attracting and retaining and mobilizing young leaders to create positive change in Erie County. And we often get caught up a little bit in that language. We adopted this name of Young Erie Professionals. And I think a lot of times we get caught up on what is a professional. But I really want to think a little bit more on what we think a leader is. So when you guys think about our membership, who do you think about? Who is it that we are really trying to reach out to in Erie County?
So for me, it's someone who wants to engage and is looking to expand their personal horizons, develop in a professional, personal sense, whatever that means to them, and engage with people who are of a similar mindset, striving towards a common goal.
Yeah, and I think the same thing. I mean, we're looking for those next generation of leaders in the community that are either, early in a leadership position or they have aspirations to go into a leadership position. And I think the important thing that we're looking for is we want a diversity through Erie in our members of both, where they work. So we want people from industry, we want people from professional services, we want those that work in the trades. We want to be diverse in that aspect. As well as diverse in where they come from in the community. So we want members from every neighborhood in Erie and every side of town, east side, west side, all of that to come together so that we are truly the next generation of leaders that are going to step up in Erie and lead this community into the future.
Absolutely. YEP is all about providing a voice and a platform for young leaders here in Erie. I think you touched on a lot of good points. And one thing that we really wanted to do this year was be a little bit more explicit about what our values are. So we finally wrote them down. And some of those values are ones that we already live out, like our value of community. YEP has always been really dedicated to the community and our activities and our actions. We really believe in Erie. We love Erie. We choose Erie. But I think there are some aspirational values in there as well. We've identified inclusivity as a value. And while we want to be inclusive, of course, I think we have a lot of work to do intentionally going out and reaching out to the community to bring in all the young leaders that are out there.
Yeah, and I would say from the internal engagement side, that's one of the big aspects that our membership engagement committee is going to do this year, and they'll talk about it in a little bit, but they're going to be actively pursuing new members instead of us waiting for folks to come to us that want to join. We want to get out in those communities and share what YEP is and tell them about it and get them excited about it and offer them to join instead of kind of waiting for them to find us. So.
Absolutely. And I think in order to do any of this, we really have to partner with other leadership in the county, people who are already ahead of us, and businesses as well, to kind of let them know, if you want Erie to be an attractive place for young talent, these are the things you need to do to get people to move here. So you want to touch a little bit on our interactions with businesses in the county?
Yeah, we're really fortunate in that we've enjoyed a lot of great partnerships with local businesses, some very large, some smaller, some just getting off the ground. And I think it's important that we continue to nurture that dynamic. So there have obviously been businesses that have been generous enough to sponsor us in the past, but we want to engage with a diverse group of industries and styles of business, whether they're sole proprietorships or a business of 10 people that's looking to expand and engage our members and show them what opportunities are up and coming, what's established here, where the growth potential is, and what they can contribute to those companies, where they may see themselves in 5 years, in 10 years, or where they want to pivot to and shift moving forward.
Absolutely. One of the things that we've identified that I'm most excited about is we are going to really go hard on getting young professionals into positions of power and influence in Erie County. When we talk about diversity, obviously we need to start from within, but one of the places where we can have the most impact is by advocating for young professionals to be represented on our boards, on our commissions, at leadership levels within our local companies and businesses. Companies cannot truly represent their constituents. They can't represent their customers if only one voice is represented at that table. Our generation is one of the biggest in history, and we need our voices at those tables to advocate for what our specific needs are to have a good, sustainable life here in Erie County. So we will constantly be seeking out those opportunities, not just ones that are available to get folks into, but also making sure that they are equipped with the skills they need to do those things successfully.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's going to be the big focus of the Personal and Professional Development Committee. It used to be the professional development, and we've kind of added that personal touch to it because our members do range from very young professionals just starting out of their career to some seasoned professionals that have been in their businesses and industries for 10 or 15 years as you get to the top of our membership. So we want to focus on those early stages of some of that personal development, preparing them for being in whatever industry they're in or profession they're in. And then on the professional side, because we have members that are already in those positions, in those industries and businesses throughout the community, that can give some mentorship and teach our membership what needs to be done to get into those positions and help expand that diversity within those corporations and businesses throughout the community. So that's going to be a big focus of the Professional and Personal Development Committee, and they'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the ways we can always have a voice in our community is through our vote and through being really civically engaged. So we have a wonderful community and civic engagement committee who will be working on areas of education and advocacy and involvement, getting our young professionals more involved in the public sector and with our elected officials, getting them face-to-face with people who make those decisions.
It's been really refreshing and amazing, frankly, the level of engagement and feedback we're getting from different organizations, whether they be nonprofits or somewhere on the political side of things. They're looking for input, they're looking for volunteers, they're looking for feedback and engagement, essentially. And so I think sometimes we fall into a trap of maybe we don't feel like we're heard. The Community and Civic Engagement Committee is a great tool to both make sure our voice is heard and also to facilitate those opportunities. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a direct pathway for a community organization to say, hey, we're looking for someone to fill this role, or we have this opportunity, and it's going to reach a huge audience through the YEP membership. I think it's a win-win for everyone involved and a great way for you to develop skills as a member,
yes,
to give back to the community, and also to show why we have value and why it's important our voice is heard, as opposed to just saying we think we should be heard.
Yes, I think we're past the point of just saying, please hear us, and we're ready just to step up and stop asking for permission and say, we're here, we have something to say. We feel that our job is making sure that those people have a seat at the table so that they are actually heard. And all this is kind of very serious and deep, right? That's not to say that YEP is not still a really fun place to be. I know as, what we call a boomerang, somebody who grew up here, left, moved back. YEP was really the first place where I started making friends again upon my return to Erie. And there'll still be lots of opportunities for socializing through our member engagement committee. What we really want to see with that, it's not just going out and having a drink at our favorite restaurants and establishments, but actually helping people build meaningful relationships with one another so that they're putting roots down here in Erie County. And it's a place where they feel supported and loved, and that they belong, and really developing that sense of belonging by cultivating a community for young professionals here. So I'm really looking forward to some of the fun activities, and I'm hoping to God that we will be able to do them together at some point this year.
Yeah, no, I am too, and I think, I'm a little different than you, so I moved to Erie as a more seasoned professional, not knowing anyone, and YEP was one of the first places that I went to. And I have developed some great friendships and really felt like I am now a part of the community and helping it grow. So it was very easy to come in, get connected, meet people, and again, to really be pulled into the community by the YEP members. So I think we should continue to do that, and we owe it to our new members to bring them in and do the same thing. And I think the Membership Engagement Committee has some great plans to do that, as well as the other committees. And I think it's going to be an exciting year for everyone coming out of last year. Got a lot of great things going on, and it's going to be fun and exciting as well as professional as we get into this year. So I'm excited about it.
Yes.
So I think that the Young Erie Professionals organization is essential to the Erie community because it really gives our young professionals a place in the community. It gives them something to look forward to in terms of networking, really a voice, an outlet, and an opportunity to get involved. There are a lot of people that move to the Erie area or just graduate from an area college and they're looking to get connected. They don't know where to start. So I think being accessible is really important, and that's something that YEP has really provided to the community. It's easy to get involved. They've made it very obtainable and diverse, and I think that goes a long way.
So I think that as with any community, it's important to make sure that you're constantly bringing in young, fresh ideas to the table. So I think it's important that there is this community of people that can build each other up and let each other know about different opportunities within the Erie community, as well as being that youthful taste of fresh air at any table or organization.
I think it's really important to unify our young professionals, especially in Erie, of course, because there's a lot to learn and a lot of jobs and industries out there that you maybe didn't know about before that can actually help you as well, both professionally and personally. So it's a really good way to network and just see what else Erie has to offer that you maybe didn't know about beforehand.
Being a YEP member, there's so many activities to get involved with. From CEO roundtables, where we have featured guests from Erie Insurance and from other organizations, government, and it's really exciting to partake. Normally you might not have involvement in meeting such individuals, so that's really fun. They also do drop the mic events, which are forums that go on different topics from HR or progression of your career, or even just getting more opportunities in your workplace. And then they also have off-the-clock events, which are more of the social side of the organization, where they do it at different times of the day. So there's always like involvement from different times of the day. So say they might have a morning or an afternoon or evening event, so everybody can partake. So I really like those events, so it gets more people, more engagement.
I think it's important that young people are being pulled in and networking with people, being connected with other organizations, knowing that they belong, also giving them opportunities for things that they may not think that they have opportunities for, such as, being on a board or being a part of a committee. And then also just the education aspect. So my committee is Young Erie Philanthropists, and we were actually formed early last year. We actually had our first committee meeting during the height of COVID. So it was like March, and we weren't sure what we were going to do because it was just, nobody knew what was going on with the world. But we stuck together, and everyone continued to meet on Microsoft Teams, and we continued to go over, the education aspects of the committee, and we ended up granting an award, or awarding a grant to the Young Erie Mavericks. So we still were able to provide what we were set out to do. This year we are going to open it up to 10 additional members on the committee, and obviously continue to provide the $5,000 grant and come up with direction as to like who we are going to award the grant to.
Young Erie Professionals is important to the Erie community because we're training the next generation of people who are change makers in our community. We're all really excited to be a part of this community. You know, it's helped us in so many ways, and we're excited to make a positive difference moving forward. So I'm the chair of the Personal and Professional Development Committee, and I'm really excited to work on improving the mind, body, and spirit of everybody, both personally and professionally. There's so many different ways to improve, and they're really interconnected, because if you work on yourself, you work on yourself as a professional, and if you work on yourself in the boardroom or at the office, it definitely carries over. So we're starting to put together a mentorship program with local colleges. We're going to be starting a book club, which I'm really excited about, and obviously our Drop the Mic series, where we work with local professionals to talk to them about how they got to where they are. Those things combined with, you know, fun things like yoga at Presque Isle, and all just going to chat about things we've been learning and reading about. There's so many ways to grow, and I'm excited to explore all of them. I'm really excited to hopefully have some wonderful committee members who are hoping to help with these projects and make them a reality. I'm definitely looking for people who are obviously excited about personal growth and professional growth, and who have tons of exciting ideas and want to help other people grow.
Well, I think obviously everything has changed with COVID, the way people work, depending on your industry. I think that Erie now has a chance to attract a lot of people that may have always wanted to be here, and now they have the opportunity to work remotely, and I think that that can only help entice younger people to be back in Erie and show what the city has to offer. And you know, you don't get lost in all the hustle and bustle of a big city, which can be good for a time, but the quality of life here is great, and I think that it's a great time for YEP to make people realize that may be living elsewhere and want to bring them back.
My favorite thing about being a YEP member is meeting a lot of different people outside of my field. I'm a chemist in the plastics industry, so there's not too many of us in Erie, so it's nice to meet a bunch of other people and learn about what they do in the community as well. So we meet the first Wednesday of every month at 5:30. We're going to continue doing our Politics for Dummies crash course event that we kicked off in 2020. It's a great way to brush up on all of our knowledge on local politics and even our national politics with everything going on in the world, because most of us haven't learned about some of this stuff since high school or our early college years, so it's nice to brush up on that information. We're also going to be doing our quarterly service projects, and new this year we're doing monthly interviews with community and local government officials to learn more about them, and so they can also learn more about us.
We have a few other committees too that we haven't heard from today. There's our Member Engagement Committee, which is responsible for really shedding light on all the activities of our members, what they've been up to, their accomplishments, as well as providing meaningful ways for them to interact with one another, build their social network, and just make meaningful connections here in Erie. People who really like to build relationships, who are community builders, like public relations or into journalism or communications, would be a great fit for this committee. And then there's our Business Engagement Committee, which is comprised of people from all across different industries to really come together and advise businesses on the changes they should be making and the things they should be doing to attract young talent to Erie. We really want a diverse array of folks from manufacturing, entrepreneurs, people in finance, whatever it is that you do. We want you to join that committee so you can kind of represent your industry and be the one to kind of voice what it is that industry needs to grow. And then there's the 40 Under 40 Experience Committee. The 40 Under 40 Experience is a event that we put on with the Erie Reader each fall. And it's a really fun time. It's a time for us to recognize that year's class of 40 under 40 honorees. And if you love event planning, if you love a good time, if you have big ideas and want to see them come to life, that's a great way to get involved. If any of the committees you've heard from today sound interesting to you, if you want to really kind of dive deeper into your YEP membership and get more engaged, then I encourage you to go to yeperie.org/committees and apply to join.
So one of the events we're super excited to be bringing back, hopefully this year, it will happen in some form, whether you recognize it or not, is the 40 under 40 or what's going to be the 80 under 40.
Yes.
We don't know how that's going to play out yet, but we're hoping to make a big, impactful event because it's so important that we highlight the successes of our peers and work to build each other up and promote internally the exposure and engagement and relationships we build with other young professionals are going to continue to serve us for years, and it's so valuable to be able to share those big wins and the victories with everyone. So I am super excited to be contributing to the 80 under 40 in 2021, name pending.
We haven't really decided. Keep an eye out for that one. I can't wait for that. We'll be doing the Young Professional of the Year Award again at the Celebration of Excellence. It is so important to just shed light on all the incredible things that young professionals are already doing in Erie. And the other thing that I'm really proud of that we've done over the past year is launch Young Erie Philanthropists with the aid of the Erie Community Foundation. We're looking to grow that fund in 2021. You'll hear from Christy Bailey, that committee's chair, about what they were able to do with that endowment last year and what we hope to be able to do in 2021. And really using, again, the tools that we have, our own gifts, our time, talent, and treasure, and giving back to our community, and understanding that that's such an important value if we want to continue to see our community succeed, that we really, we need to kind of step up to the plate in that sense as well. So I'm excited to see what will come of that, and who will receive that grant this year, and just watch that fund grow as time goes on. I'm really excited for everybody to hear from all of our chairs about the incredible activities they have planned to support our mission and these values and our goals for 2021. But we can't just do it with the people you see here on stage. In order for these things to happen, we need your help. So if anything that we've said today sparks your interest, if you hear from one of your chairs and think, I would be really good at that, please take action, join a committee, join Young Erie Professionals today, and join us in making Erie a better place for tomorrow.